From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite and Eric Severide in Washington, Bert Quint in the Sinai, John Sheehan in Cairo, Tom Fenton in Syria, Bob Simon in Amman, David Dick in Val Harbor, Florida, Richard Wagner in Los Angeles, and in Washington, Bob Schieffer, Roger Mudd, and Robert Pierpoint.
Good evening. The White House today expressed optimism that the Middle East fighting soon may stop. President Nixon and Secretary of State Kissinger are said to be involved in delicate diplomatic negotiations, apparently with the Arabs and Russians. Soviet Premier Kosygin, at the same time, is in Cairo for important talks with President Sadat. He's said to be urging the Arabs to accept some sort of ceasefire. And Israeli leaders in this country are letting it be known they would not object to a ceasefire in place, followed immediately by serious negotiations to bring about a lasting peace. But amid all that maneuvering, heavy fighting and dying still was underway on both sides of the Suez Canal, and it appeared that new elements had been injected into the 13-day-old war, as Bob Schieffer reports from the Pentagon.
U.S. intelligence sources said tonight that North Vietnamese soldiers who helped plan the defense of Hanoi during the heavy American bombing campaigns are now in Syria. The Syrians have shot down scores of Israeli planes with Russian-built surface-to-air missiles, and experts here believe the presence of the North Vietnamese advisors is one of the reasons that the Syrians were so successful, especially in the early stages of the campaign. There's been no official word here on the North Vietnamese help to the Arabs, but the Pentagon did confirm another development, that North Korean pilots are now flying patrols over Egypt, and one of them traded fire yesterday with an Israeli pilot. The United States is gathering its intelligence now by satellite spies, by U.S. planes flying over the Mediterranean equipped with special listening devices which can monitor radio and radar frequencies, and it's generally believed that the United States is also flying SR-71 spy planes which can photograph the battlefield action from altitudes of more than 80,000 feet. Here are the estimates on casualties and equipment losses which are in the intelligence reports being circulated to ranking Pentagon officials. Casualty estimates are described as especially rough and give no breakdown as to dead or wounded. However, the usual rule of thumb is 1 dead for every 3 wounded. For Egypt, about 6,700 believed wounded or dead. Syria, about 7,300 wounded or dead. Iraq, around 300 dead and wounded. Morocco, 490 dead and wounded. Israel, casualties estimated now at about 3,500. Equipment losses for all sides is estimated here. Egypt, 110 planes down, about 600 tanks destroyed. Syria, 150 planes lost, tank losses approaching 850. Iraq, 21 planes down, 125 tanks lost. Jordan, 20 tanks damaged or destroyed. And Israel, plane losses now numbering about 100, about 800 armored vehicles damaged or destroyed. Bob Schieffer.
The fighting still is ferocious and heavy for the third day on the Sinai front, and Israel has carried the war to the Egyptian homeland on the west side of the Suez Canal. What Israel claimed was happening was this: the greatest tank battle since World War II, maybe ever, here on the Central Front. Now that is where they identify that front to be, not down here where it was previously thought to be. They claim to have destroyed 110 Egyptian tanks and 20 planes. For their own losses, 1/10 of that. But their greatest claim, that the commando force which crossed the canal on Tuesday has been reinforced. A bridgehead has been established, reinforced with tanks and artillery on the west side of the canal here. They are now disrupting, they say, supply lines, probably these out to Ismailia and down from there, attacking command posts and bases and anti-aircraft batteries. The Israelis acknowledge that they must have a bridge across the canal to have gotten tanks and artillery across. It seems most likely it would be just here north of the Bitter Lakes. And resupply means that they have cut a salient to the canal in the Egyptian lines, and at least in that area have split the Egyptian forces. The Egyptians, who yesterday said they had annihilated this West Bank force, today merely said they were surrounding it and had given it the option of surrendering or dying. We have a film report from Bert Quint with the Israeli army on the east side of the Suez.
It's been a tough day.